Hi everybody. I actually haven't made a video in about 2 days. I've had some stuff going on with my family. I'll tell you a little bit about that. But in the meantime, I'm getting dinner ready for tomorrow, so I figured I'd do that with you. I'm making chicken Parisienne, which is kind of like a cream of mushroom chicken, but a little bit of a twist. So first I have one chicken breast, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cube that. So while I'm doing that, I'll update you on what's been going on. My family lives back home in Las Vegas. And, sorry, I have a hair and it's tickling me. My dad had a bypass on his heart, I'd say about 20 years ago, I believe, when my son was about a year old, and has been on high blood pressure meds since then. Has a high stress job, and he had a stress test done recently, and something came back abnormal in his lower heart on that stress test. So they decided to put a camera down, and again, something abnormal came back on the lower part of his heart. So they're going to go in and do an angiogram. And I really want to be there for the angiogram, and it kind of stresses me, it being my daddy and me not being able to be there right now because of my surgery on Tuesday. So they called yesterday, and they're actually going to schedule it on the 6th of April, which is right around about a week and a half. I think it's 11 days after I have surgery. So it's enough time that I will have surgery and have had enough time to have my stitches removed and be able to drive down there to be there for him when he has the angiogram. So that relieves a lot of stress that I'll be able to be there. Sorry, after cutting the chicken, I'm just gonna wash the cutting board real quick so that I can cut the mushrooms for the chicken. But that relieves a lot of stress that I'll be able to be there. My son, who is 21, and his girlfriend that he's been with since he was about 16, both live in Las Vegas, and I'll be staying with them. If you look at my Facebook my YouTube profile picture, the girl in that profile picture is my son's girlfriend, and she and I are very close. We talk, actually, I think we talk more often than I talk to my son. But I'll be staying with them while I'm in Vegas. And it's super kind of awkward, and I'm kind of a burden because I'm going to cut about 4 ounces of mushrooms and put those in the crock pot with the chicken. I'm just gonna slice them and cut them into bite-sized pieces. But it's kind of awkward because I'm a burden, because I have to take my dogs with me. Mama's is really old. She's a 14-year-old pit bull, And first of all, I don't know how much longer we're going to have her. So boarding her, knowing that I could lose her any day, is kind of not something that I want to do. But she also doesn't get along with other dogs. And so it's super inconvenient and awkward to board her. So my son has 2 dogs, and now they have a cat, and Mama's actually gets along with their animals, but they live in an apartment. And so bringing my 2 dogs into their apartment is kind of unbelievably inconvenient for them. And I feel bad about that. And they kind of voiced some concerns about that this time, because I do have the new puppy. But this isn't like a, hey, I want to come visit and fart around and just be in your way for a month. This is my dad being sick, and I need to be there for him right now. So I'm sorry that we're going to be in the way, but can we please come down? So the kids said, yes, I can stay there. And yes, it'll be super awkward, but yes, you're welcome. So it looks like I'll have my stitches out, you know, like 7 or 10 days after the surgery. And then after that, I'll head out to Vegas. I'm going to add 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. So it sucks, and this is only a diagnostic test. Hopefully, you know, if they find something crazy weird, then there's a possibility that it could turn into something emergent. But with any hope, this is just a test. And hopefully it won't go any further than that, but you just never know. And then salt and pepper. I like to use Tony's black pepper, and then the Himalayan crystal salt is my favorite, and I really use it for everything. I'm actually running low, and I was concerned about where I was going to get it in Louisiana, but come to find out, Walmart carries it now. They have an organic Himalayan crystal salt I happened to see yesterday. So that's super awesome. About a half a teaspoon of paprika. A half a cup of wine. This actually calls for white wine, and I don't have it on hand. I have a pink Moscato, so I'm going to use that instead. Really, alcohol is alcohol. Wine is wine. And then about an hour before it's done, I'll add 1 cup of sour cream to the crock pot on low. And then that'll be it. Because I'm cooking it so early and I'm using only 1 chicken breast, I can actually cook this on warm instead of putting it on low. And normally you would throw this over egg white noodles. I don't actually want the carbs, so I'm just gonna eat it by itself. And then there's enough sauce in here that you can add 2 or 3 more chicken breasts and you'll still end up being okay. Let me just plug this in real quick. I don't know how long I'll be in Vegas for. Probably just a couple of days, up to a week at most. And then my little sister, one of my little sisters anyway, lives here in town, and it looks like her and one of her daughters will be traveling back with me. So that'll be kind of nice to have them break up the monotony of the drive. And then I won't be alone. So that'll be good. It's always nice to have somebody with you on that long, long drive. It takes about 28 hours to get there and about 30 hours with the time difference to get back. And either way, it's not a fun drive. It's just mostly desert and Texas for a day and a half. But I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Texas just takes forever. But I love going back home. I just hate the drive. And I could fly, but then it only cost me about $100 to drive my car there. And flying with the dogs, first of all, me just flying would cost more than it takes for gas. Then adding the dogs would be astronomical. Then I wouldn't have a car during the time that I'm there, so then you got to add in rental. And it just ends up being a super expensive trip that there's no reason to pay for, in my opinion. So I'd rather just drive. Considering the fact that it's me and the dogs, it just makes more sense to me. So I don't know. Some people would disagree, and I guess if you're doing it with kids or anything like that, it makes more sense to fly, but not for me. I wouldn't want to do it with small children or anything. But so that's it for the day. I hope that everybody's enjoying their day, or will be enjoying their day. It's only about 3 a.m. So, love y'all. Take care. Blessed be.